Hello folks, and welcome back to my channel. I'm the Lone Adventurer. Thank you very much for stumbling your way upon this video. Today I'm going to be playing through a adventure gamebook style magazine called Talamander. This is something I backed on Kickstarter. I think it was earlier this year, so the creator of this game, Tim Brown, has been very efficient in delivering the game, and actually it's been sitting on my gaming table for quite a few weeks now, patiently waiting for the time to finally be shown off on the channel. If this is already piquing your interest and you want to see more, and you want to see more games like this one, then do consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the like button. Now, the second I saw this on Kickstarter, it was an instant back for me, partly because it's a UK based game and I like supporting UK based games, but secondly, I don't think I've seen anything really in this format come along lately. A magazine style choose your own adventure game. Immediately when I saw it, I was like, that looks like the sort of thing that 13-year-old me, 14-year-old me would, without a shadow of a doubt, no hesitation, have picked up off of the shelf in WH Smith's, which you might not know if you're not from the UK, but it's a shop, stationery shop that sells a lot of magazines, and I used to go in there every Saturday and look at the magazines and the game books and things like that. Had I have seen it back then, there's no doubt that I would have bought it. And I can imagine sort of it being one of those series where the first issue costs you 99p and thereafter it costs you 5 or 6 quid, and so it was very evocative of the sort of thing that I would have bought in my childhood. I know that Tim is planning more. This is issue number 1. He's already hard at work on issue number 2, which is going to be launching on Kickstarter, I believe, before the end of the year. If you're curious to find out about that, probably if you Google Talamander Kickstarter, you can find your way to his profile on Kickstarter and follow him there. I did just spot also that he has an Instagram account, Talamander Bryn, and I just followed him on there, so probably that's a good way of staying up to date on this as well. And hopefully he will be including reprints of the first issue in the Kickstarter of the second issue. I would imagine he'll be doing that. So here we are with issue 1 of Talamander, the fantasy gamebook magazine, and it's called Raiders of Fang Mountain. And straight away on the inside of the cover we've got a letter from our editor, Zacharias the Cat Mage. There he is. Looks like a fairly full-on character to me. Welcome, friends and felines. Zacharias the Cat Mage here at your service. As you can see, pawful puns are a speciality. What a catastrophe for you. This is the first issue of a brand new gamebook magazine called Talamander. Each edition will feature the ongoing adventures of your character. As you progress, the map will grow as you find new areas, and your adventure sheet will expand as you add new skills and treasures. So get your dice out, enjoy the issue. And if you want to write in and tell us what you think, well, the address is back in the 1980s. We've moved on. Use a flying snorkel, chums. Alright, so we can communicate with Zacharias via flying snorkel. That's good to know. Your pal Zach will need 2 6-sided dice, or use 4 for simultaneous quick combat. We'll see whether we want to do that. A pencil and an eraser. So we've got my new erasable pen, which will hopefully be easier to see on screen instead of that. So we've got a little how to play section down here. We've got some combat rules here, and we've got an adventure sheet. Now obviously I'm not a crazy person. I'm not going to be writing on my adventure sheet in the book. I have scanned it in to my computer and printed out a copy here. It's a little bit funky down the edge, but I'm sure that will do us fine. So let's have a look at setting up our character. Hi friends, it's Zach, or Zacharias to my friends. Interesting, so I call him Zach if I don't know him, or Zacharias if I do. Here's everything you need to know to play. It's straightforward enough, but if you get stuck and need help, well, just read it again. What am I, your Meowther? All you need are 2 6-sided dice, a pencil and an eraser, or rubber if you prefer. 5 skills which you will have on your quest. Okay, so we've got a standard setup here of 5 attack, 15 health, 5 agility, 5 luck and 5 perception. Now distribute an additional 12 points across these 5 skills, up to a maximum of 10 in any one category, but health we can't increase. Okay, so we're going to do that, add them over there, and that's, I think that, is that it for setup? I think that's it, and then we can just crack on. We'll learn about combat as we go. Right, so what are we going to do? We have 15 for health. Put that in there. And look, attack cannot exceed starting score. So maybe we should really ramp up the attack, because the other ones can all go higher with special items that you get. I think I'm probably going to whack 5 points into attack. We've got 12 to distribute in total. So we're going to have 10 points in attack, because we've got a base of 5, we're adding 5 to that. That leaves me with 7 more points to distribute across the other things. I think I'll put 3 into luck, because luck is often quite handy. So we've got 8 in luck, and that leaves me 4 to split over perception and agility, and I think I'll put 2 in each. So agility is going to be 7, and perception is going to be 7. So before we make a start, maybe I should just do a quick run through of the other bits and pieces I got with the Kickstarter. Before we do even that, we should have a look at the front, which is created, drawn, illustrated by an individual called Nerdgore. Nerdgore is well worth following on Instagram. I'll pop Nerdgore's Instagram Instagram name at the bottom of the video. Does great fantasy art, and it was a real bonus, I think, to have a nice big copy of that on the front cover. And actually, in true 80s, 90s magazine style, there's a poster in the middle as well, so that looks fantastic. And we got some other bits and pieces as well. We got a bookmark. Don't know why I forgot the word for bookmark for a second then. And that's got the code words on it, which will be ticking off at certain points during the game. I'll probably just write those on my sheet though. What else have we got? We got a card for the Raider of Fang Mountain. And I think this is for another game, a sort of a Top Trumps style game that Tim also puts out. And we also got some art bits and pieces. We've got a nice version of the map of Fang Forest and the surrounding area. Oh, and a little dungeon map there, a scrappy sort of dungeon map. That's cool. And we also got 3 art prints. We got this crazy looking skinless knight guy. We got this is probably my favourite, I think, this giant troll dude grabbing a horse on a bridge with a knight running in to save him, and this drunk monk fella who is accompanied by a rather grumpy looking little elfin goblin dude down at the bottom there. So there you go, some nice art prints as well. All that stuff was included. I think there was stretch goals, maybe some of them were stretch goals in the Kickstarter. Right, and should we have a little look at the adventure sheet as well before we get cracking? We've got the skills, which we've just filled in. We've got some weapons slots. I don't think I start with a weapon. Backpack holding up to 12 items. We can have an outfit, so we can have various items that we can wear and the bonuses they give us. Coins, reputation, family luck, intriguing, and a hunting sling stone bag to carry my stones. And you get some save points. That's cool. I haven't played a choose your own adventure style game with save points before, but I like the idea of that. I think when you hit a save point, you have to make a copy of your adventure sheet, and then you can, if you die, respawn at that point. Then here's where you record your code words and a little section for notes as well. So very simple rules, but obviously a little bit of complexity in terms of the different things that you can collect and record as you're playing, which intrigues me greatly. As I said, we'll go over combat once we've started. Yeah, and then there's a few little notes there about the other bits and pieces that you need to consider, but I think we can just crack on. Here we go. We've got a prologue. You watch your home burn. The raiders came in the night without warning and killed your family. A clubbed blow to the side of your head meant you were left for dead. When you awake, the raiders are gone and your life is aflame. Despair takes you and you watch helpless as the only home you've ever known is reduced to ashes. Then you notice a movement out of the corner of your eye. It's your mother. She's alive. You stumble to her side. She lies motionless in the tall grass, battered and bleeding heavily from an ugly sword wound. Fang Mountain raiders! They were looking for your father. Find him. She shudders and dies. You feel numb. It's all too much to bear, but your mind is racing. Your father died when you were young, or so you've always been told. A cold anger grows inside you, and you look north towards Fang Mountain, home of the raiders and other unspeakable evils. Why did the raiders kill your family? What does your father have to do with it? And is he still alive? You want answers and you want vengeance. You vow the raiders will answer for what they've done. It seems an impossible task, but you have nothing left to lose. As the sun rises, you place a simple wooden marker on the grave of your family and head north towards Fang Mountain. Brilliant. I'm already excited about this. Immediately in the first bit of writing there, it's like, okay, this guy can write. Because sometimes there's a bit of a risk when you back something with a small print run that maybe it's not going to be well written. There's going to be oddly structured sentences and typos, and that's clearly not going to be the case here. So that's cool, and I like that cold opening. It reminds me a little bit of the start of is it Lone Wolf? The Lone Wolf adventure books, which I haven't played many of, but they start with the character who lives in a with some like monks somewhere, I think, in a monastery, and the monastery is burnt down and he's the only survivor. So it's very reminiscent of that to me. And we've got a cool little skull illustration here as well. Wicked. All right, let's get straight into it. Chapter 1 is called Thief. A day of walking takes you to the imposing stone city walls of Winterheart. All right, so our family is dead and gone, and we've wandered out into the world because we have nothing to stay at home for, and we've got questions we need answering. 1. Hey, look, we get some stuff straight away. Wicked. You remember your mother had hidden emergency supplies in the hollow of a nearby tree. Interesting. She was well prepared, wasn't she? She was a bit of a prepper. It's not hard to find, and you take out a rolled up backpack and put it over your shoulders before following the dusty track towards Fang Mountain. Oh, okay, so we're not at Winterheart yet. So we've got these items to add to our adventure sheet. In the backpack, we're going to put a healing potion, so 2 healing potions, a frayed hunting sling, and a bedroll. And we're going to put on some rags. So we've got some nice rags. I guess we're just wearing whatever we wear when we usually sleep. We get a rusty dagger, which gives us +1 damage, and 20 bronze pieces. Right, so we've got the rusty dagger. Our outfit is some rags, no bonus. 20 bronze pieces, so I guess I need to record that they're bronze pieces in some way. I'll put BP and hopefully remember what that means, just in case we end up getting silver and gold and stuff at a certain point, or maybe it's all bronze pieces all the way through, I'm not really sure. And some items in our backpack. Healing potion. Having to write quite small. Healing potion. I'll just put a little star next to those. +4. And we've got a hunting sling. So that's going to go... That's an item. Because a hunting sling... Oh, I guess it's not a weapon. Because the hunting sling stone bag... So we don't treat the hunting sling as a weapon. Okay. Does it matter that it's frayed? I'll try and squeeze it in. And a bedroll. That's all the stuff. The morning is overcast but warm, and you settle into an even stride. At midday you forage for something to eat and make a meal of mushrooms and berries. You also bring down a rabbit using your sling. Not wanting to attract unwanted attention with a fire, you eat it raw. Hardcore. To keep your mind occupied, you spend the afternoon looking out for suitable stones for your hunting sling. Add 10 stones to your hunting sling bag on your adventure sheet. So we've maxed out, we've filled up our hunting stone bag. A day of walking takes you to the imposing stone city walls of Winterheart. A bored guard watches you through hooded eyes. You must look a sight. A purpling bruise on your forehead, blood-stained, torn and blackened clothing, but he's clearly seen worse as he doesn't stop you. In a daze you hear people going about their daily business. Friendly chatter and laughter surround you. It's as if you've dreamt the last day and night. What a great start. By the time you reach the market, most of the stalls are packing up for the day, but you still have time to make some quick essential purchases before finding somewhere to sleep. You favour a sword on a nearby stall, only to be grabbed by the scruff of the neck by the stall holder. Oi! No beggars. If you ain't got money, don't get me goods greasy. You reach down for your money pouch to show him your intent, but it's gone. What? The stall holder releases you, and stepping back, you cast your eyes left and right. You feel a lump in your throat. All the money you had in the world, the final gift from your mother, gone. Just then you see him. A young lad in rags, not much better off than you, swinging your coin purse as he weaves between the merchants. Remove 20 bronze pieces from your adventure sheet. My first choice. First choice of the game. Will you chase after him, turn to 12, or call out to a pair of nearby guards for help, turn to 9? Well, I think I'm going to chase him. Screw this guy, I'm going to take him down. Turning to 12. You run after him. Anger boils over, and you shout out at the thief. Startling a passer-by carrying a bundle of wood, he yelps and showers sticks and branches all over the cobbled road. "Bloody adventurers, and you're shouting? Who's going to help me pick up this lot?" says the exasperated peasant. Will you help him pick up the wood, or ignore him and continue the chase? Oh, I mean, if I help him pick up the wood, he might do something nice, or he might do nothing at all. Or ignore him and continue the chase. Oh, but I do kind of want my money. But do I want to be the kind of guy that sort of knocks someone over? So do I want to be a nice person or a slightly less nice person? I don't know. Already I'm crippled by indecision. Do you know what? I think I'm going to help him pick up the wood. I'm going to do it. 52. That's my instinct. "Thank you, kind sir," he sighs gratefully. "You know, if this was the start of an adventure, I'd be a mystical beggar who bestows on you a magical gift." He smiles at you. "But I'm not." He scowls and snatches the last branch from your outstretched hand. "Look where you're going in future, and don't shout around people's faces." I kind of suspected that might happen. With that, the peasant flounces off to the market. Looking around, you are surprised to see the thief resting against a wall. What? He smirks at you before disappearing down a dark alley. With a growing sense of anger, you give chase. Turn to 69. So it doesn't really feel like my good nature there helped me in any way. So mental note about that. This isn't a game that's necessarily going to reward you for being a nice guy. And the fact that he's paused against the wall and now he's ducked down this alley makes me think that when I get in this alley, I'm not just going to be fighting him. He knows this city. He lives on the streets, and this isn't going to work out for me. But let's follow anyway. 69. You follow the thief down a dark alley, just in time to see him scale the back wall and disappear through the open window of a tall brick building. He's agile and quick. You'll need all your skills to keep up. Roll 2 dice. If you roll equal or under your agility, turn to 77. If it's over, turn to 81. Alright, so I was looking at that picture then, but that's for a different entry. So mental note, the pictures are for the entry below. Right, so we're going to roll and hopefully roll under our agility. Our agility is 7 because I powered everything into attack. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I don't know. So if we roll equal or under 7, we turn to 77. Hey, 5. Alright, so we're turning to 77. Here it is. You race to the end of the alley, leap and grab the top of the dusty wall. Hoisting yourself up, you dive through the window head first and tumble and crash over pots and pans. A slightly undignified entrance, but you're in one piece and the thief is only just ahead of you, moving quickly out the only door in the bare brick room you find yourself in. He stops, grins at you, then carries on running. You get the feeling this is just a game to him. Turn to 25. It's evident that the building you are in is home to many people. Each room is inhabited by multiple family groups. Human, dwarves, even orcs. You race up 2 flights of dusty stairs, weaving around small children laughing and playing. Ahead, the thief darts through a curtain into another room. You follow. A startled old woman preparing a meal shrieks as you barge into her living room and drops the pot she was holding, showering the floor in an assortment of green leaves. The thief, just ahead, steps out a window and, using a washing line as a tightrope, deftly steps across the gap to the building on the other side of the alley. You apologise to the old woman, who shouts several curses at you in several different languages. At the window you look down. It's a long drop, but several ideas spring to mind. You could use the same washing line as a tightrope, turn to 74. Looking up, you see more washing lines. You could cut one down and try and swing into the room opposite, turn to 123, or step back and jump, turn to 206. Wicked. Alright, I think I'm going to stop there for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I've got to say, I mean, I had high hopes for this product, this book, and I've got a feeling that it's going to exceed them. It's already fun. The story's already fun. I'm already engaged. I'm already in. Hopefully you are too. Tell you what, we've got 3 options there. Feel free to comment. Tell me what you think we should do to continue the chase of this thief. Should we use the tightrope? Washing line is a tightrope. Cut one down and swing in like Tarzan, or just take a step back and do a massive jump. And we'll go with the consensus of you guys, the viewers. Hope you enjoyed that first playthrough of Talamander, folks, and I will see you next time to continue the adventures of our character. Bye for now.